We're heading into a game 3 here, Virtus.pro against HYDRA, as this battle of the middle of the table continues. Both of these teams in previous tours sat around 4th, 5th place, still looking to extend themselves and maybe snipe out a 3rd place position. But they need, both these teams need this last game to be a victory for themselves. They need these dubs as quick as possible. Waga joining me yet again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've seen they're closely matched, these teams. VP, they made the early laning stage look super easy in game 1. Then they struggled a bit, but they did close it out in the end. Game 2 here, HYDRA just seemed to have the better advantage from draft. And I want to say I favored HYDRA's draft 2 games in a row. So we'll see what they can get for themselves as we head into the draft for the 3rd game here. Because execution is fine on VP. I think they're playing really well. But their drafts, I've seen a little bit of weakness compared to what HYDRA have been bringing to the table.
Yeah, it seemed like a really good spot from the get-go, right? They changed up one of the bans, letting the techies through and banning the Ember Spirit, and that allowed them to set up for that Pugna Storm with the Ember ban, the double pick in the first phase, and then that second phase of bans seemed really important as well. TB, Undying, Beastmaster, removing so many of these laning and timing options that VP like to utilize. It definitely felt awkward, the techies puck opener. You could see why they did it, but in the grand scheme of things, it didn't feel like it panned out as they wanted to.
No, it really didn't. And you want to have non-stop fighting when you pick puck as well. You want to be in there, you want to be aggressive. But I think the fear of the Storm and the Batrider became too great as well. At some point in that game, they just couldn't really go too far. They didn't want to leave their Oracle, the safety of the Oracle false promise. If you dive in and start split pushing deep or chasing far, then you're too far for Oracle to save you. And then that kind of hindered their gameplay. They became too slow because of this. So we'll see what they do in this game. The bans from VP gonna be the Medusa and the Pugna, and HYDRA banning out the Doom to start with.
This is why Dota is so enjoyable, right? Like, you have the meta, then you have, you know, during the regionals, the meta shift. During LANs, the meta changes from game to game, series to series. Even in this best of 3, you're having these shifts of priority where Ember Spirit's moving up, Pugna's moving up, and now you've got a Cottle Storm instead of the Pugna Storm still setting themselves for a great double pick.
Yep, that's exactly it. I know that, you know, the moment you saw the Pugna last time, you immediately called the Storm as well. Yeah. The moment you see Cottle this time, you know that it's going to be the Storm as well. It's just the way that teams are running nowadays. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some teams actually value the Storm a little bit higher and put them into their ban lists. Because either you can do that, or maybe you address the Cottle or the Pugna and ban them out. Look at VP. They banned the Medusa and the Pugna, but let through the Keeper and the Storm. You could have banned maybe both the Keeper and the Pugna, and then, you know, if Storm or Medusa goes through, they're not going to have their steroids with them at least. So I question a little bit the approach that VP are going with here. But they get a nice 1-2 combo. They have Techies and Beastmaster. I love this combo. It's very, very potent in its own right. Very much a laning combo.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely going to annoy your opponents. It still gives an opportunity for HYDRA to counteract this. And we can see potentially some kind of saving here, or maybe try to pressure back into this Techies Beastmaster. Enchantress is still out there as potential for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Enchantress banned after the Bloodseeker ban here by VP. Starting out with that. And HYDRA, meanwhile, trying to give themselves a nice game for Storm here. Don't want to have that puck to deal with this time. It was annoying for them, even though it worked out last game.
5 seconds
I mean, what do you start to ban? Is it just go back to the Monkey King Ursa kind of nonsense?
I would maybe consider, you know, do you have enough to deal with the Beastmaster TB as well, even? Because TB dominated the Beastmaster last time. Like the last time that we saw it. But Beastmaster and TB can also be put together. If you play Beastmaster and TB on the same team, then you have the attack speed aura for TB in any big engagement. For roshing, for pushing, it's extremely nice. They're gonna go with ban on the Pango here. The hero can be annoying for Storm on the mid matchup.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see FNG just like pick Silencer or something going into the second phase and say, hey, this is our position 5, and try and figure out what they do down the line. One more ban to go from VP though. Lots of thinking to do.
Yeah, I think they're really considering the Ench ban here, if they want to do it or not. The downside is, if you pick Ench, then you have like Ench Coddle. Doesn't sound like the nicest support combo.
Yeah.
Instead, they're going to be the ones to ban out the TB. So they don't want to have the same thing happen where a Beastmaster gets shut down by the TB themselves. Gonna ban it out from Hydra.
It does still leave heroes like the Bat and the Rubik in the game, which looked very good in the hands of Hydra in game 2.
10 seconds.
Depending on the lane matchups, we could still see the Bat Rider slip in to that second phase potentially and then get covered by a couple of bans.
I'd love to see it. I mean, Bat and Storm in the same team, it's a lot of pickoff, and just the fear that your opponent get, like the map is 40% bigger right now. So pickoff heroes are very effective because you're naturally gonna be a bit more spread out as a team. And that's where, you know, probably a big reason why we see Storm shining so much now compared to before is that people tend to go alone a little bit more, and you can't just group together. And if you do group together all the way, then you're gonna suffer. You're gonna fall behind on objectives. You won't be taking Wisdom Runes, you know, you won't be taking Tormentors or controlling the entire map as well.
Still waiting for this Magnus, man. Still waiting for this Magnus to come out. Don't ban it, please.
Hydra should go for Magnus. I mean, Magnus would be nice for them. They have the possibility late game of having Aghanims on Storm plus a Magnus in team. It's really, really good. So maybe that's your hope here, Gareth. It could happen.
I hope so. Well, same story again, right? That Rubik is the kind of stopgap pick, bridging into that second phase. Not really a hero that can be countered or is necessarily needed to be countered. Just a solid support. Going to give you a good time no matter where he goes. And now the double pick from VP. Skarath Mage. Interesting.
Yeah. So that leads me to think this is probably going to be a +5 tech use then. And probably Skarath with the Beastmaster. Usually we see just one of these two. You don't normally go for both Sky and Techies. But their lineup has a lot of burst. Look at VP. They have all the kill heroes right now. Skyrath, Beast, Tiny, Techies. Every single hero is so good at killing. And Sky is a good reaction to the Storm at least. You get a great source of silence and more magic burst. So they have quite the fighting lineup. This looks like the type of lineup where you could have 4 protect 1. Get 1 hard carry who's just gonna rise away. And right now, Anti-Mage looks like a doable option here for VP, right? You're playing against 3 int heroes, playing against Storm. And it's gonna be Magnus,
yes,
I told
finally.
you, man. The Aghanim Storm and the Magnus, they see some potential here as well.
Hell yeah. And you know what's funny to me? I had that line queued up in my head for the Anti-Mage. Like, looks pretty decent here, right? And you said it to me, and I'm just nodding going, yep.
10
I'm
seconds
glad that you
remaining.
got the same opinion there.
Yeah.
So this last round of bans, you'll probably see the Anti-Mage get removed out. But we're looking at what Hydra, offlane Magnus, mid-storm, still need to carry for both of these teams. As, like you said, VP, a lot of burst damage, a lot of assassins on their side. Tiny very often used against the Storm to just blow him up. And in Game 2, we saw Warwick overstep his bounds several times, so could get punished heavily if he still has that over-eager nature continue into Game 3.
Yeah, definitely could be. But I like that. You would rather have a Storm with extremely aggressive tendencies than a Storm who's a little bit too passive and sits back. So even if they, you know, could run the danger of getting out of position at some points, you'd still want that than the opposite. So I'm thinking here that, yeah, it's probably going to be an offlane Magnus most likely, but you also have the possibility to get yourself a carry Magnus if you want. But this game looks so great right now to do maybe PA safe lane even for Hydra, and then you have Empower for her to recover farm. The lane might not be the easiest, but she can definitely recover fast, and you can get massive value from her against Skyrath, against, you know, Beastmaster Tiny. She can shred these heroes later on.
Out goes the Lifestealer. Another one of those heroes that can scale very quickly with the Empower. Doesn't mind playing into the Sky Techies Tiny too much with that rage. What we're looking at for Hydra.
Another option would be maybe even going for something like the Wraith King. Also a great hero when you play against a lot of burst, like Virtus.pro doing, is to have a hero who doesn't care if you die once. You know, Wraith King can frontline really hard. But we'll see what VP are going to get rid of here. Perhaps there will be a little bit of an insight to what they want to play as well themselves.
Yeah, because I don't know. I look at this VP draft and I start thinking of heroes like, you know, the Terrorblade, which obviously is banned out by themselves, the Luna, a lot of these kind of harder carries that scale quickly, often like to stand their ground. And when you're playing against Rubik, Storm, Magnus, you're getting displaced and you are this one hero protected by 4. Things can get kind of nasty if you're the one being shifted around in fights and focused.
I mean, even Caudle, their entire team is actually repositioning the enemy. Yeah. So that can be pretty annoying to deal with, and would be very comfortable to have a hero like Slark who has high mobility, doesn't care about it. You get Aghanims, you have double jumps, but that's why HYDRA banned it out here. But I still think if you're playing against all that, wouldn't Antimage still be a good fit then? Because you have Blink, so he can still survive quite decently. And AM versus Magnus, I mean, mid to late game, yeah, Magnus scales pretty well from the damage, but what, they ban it out?
Themselves?
Okay. That's not what I expected, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's why my mind was starting to go to these Luna Drow kind of heroes, because in my brain I was just accepting the fact that HYDRA would ban the Slark and AM, and VP would be banning these like Lifestealer Monkey King kind of heroes.
I feel like they just gave one more ban to HYDRA there, because HYDRA probably had their eyes on that. That could be a very annoying hero for themselves to deal with.
HYDRA's like, well, what do we ban? Okay, we'll ban the Morphling then, I guess.
Luxury.
Oh, VP don't have the luxury of picking last. They've got to pick blind into that final pick of HYDRA.
They could go again for Faceless Void here in this team. They have a lot of stuff to burst into the Chrono and gives them more lockdown. Possibility. Otherwise, it's going to be the Luna that you called for. But Luna, she does run the danger. You already covered it, but there's so much repositioning. And even later on when you push high ground, remember last game when TA pushed high ground, it was like, oh, what are we gonna do? Like, how do we solve it? If we ever get to a point where VP are ahead and they push high ground, setting up a Luna, then there's the danger. You could already get skewered back, you can get telekinesis, you can get pulled further, blinding light can push you, you're gonna be behind the enemy fountain by the time all that's done.
Yeah, I mean, this is very much VP saying, this is our draft, these are our timings we're gonna play around, and we're gonna try and beat you to the punch before you get your items on Magnus and Storm that would be able to deal with the Luna, I guess. Oh, carry Magnus then. Hey, Batrider for the offlane.
Yep, carry Magnus, it's going to be, and Cloud is back on his Batrider. Had a great showing on it before. It does give them some nice lockdown here and something to pull people even further. So actually a lineup with 5 heroes to replace the enemy team. That is, I can't remember last time I saw that.
No, it's pretty wild. Yeah, everybody's got a way to displace people. Ah, some good stuff. And yeah, Batrider left in the pool till the very end. Like we were saying a couple of picks in, there was the chance for him to make an appearance again. So yeah, pretty cool adaptation from HYDRA. And it feels like we're both leaning HYDRA draft-wise once more.
Yeah, I would say so. I think HYDRA's draft is a little bit easier to play out. I don't like the carry versus carry, though, of Magnus here versus the Luna. I think that you can get outscaled pretty hard, but the fighting lineup of HYDRA just looks so good. VP, though, they have good ganks as well. They have good fighting. I think this is the most even out of all 3 drafts we saw so far. So I will give like a 55-45 for me favor in HYDRA's draft, but VP, though, they play pretty sharp.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how things go. Game 3 coming up. A quick video from EGB first, though.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600. Cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
And off we go. VP against HYDRA. Game 3 of this best of 3. Very even so far. Yeah, like I say, pretty even draft between the two of them. Maybe slightly favored for HYDRA, but we'll see how laning phase goes, because that's been the defining factor so far. Whoever comes out on top in lanes pretty much snowballs, controls the map, and wins the game.
Yeah, that's been sort of the story. And we see again heavy focus towards mid here by HYDRA with the wards. They wanted to put the ward a little bit deeper with a little there, but he falls back and put his ward on high ground instead.
And everyone very focused. FNG, of course, captaining, making sure his team knows exactly what the game plan is. And Lil Warwick and Cloud sat around that mid lane waiting to see if VP come over the staircase or if they come around the corner.
Yeah, we might see a fight for level 1. Could definitely be an engagement here, but I think more likely than not, just going to be a 2-for-2 Hydra. Look like they want to contest the bottom rune, though. They think better of it, I think. They're moving away with Storm now. It's going to be Batrier walking down. He is alone.
The battle
And I see
begins.
the Beastmaster's alone as well. Noticed. Shockwave into the blood grenade. Bit of damage over time. Fade bolt thrown and a blinding light there to push him back. Noticed a second
Another blood
grenade. Okay, he's dead. Kami getting the first blood up near that top lane and shifting themselves up into lanes proper. Bounty runes 2-for-2.
Yeah, we see the value of those grenades. You can just chase people down. Feels really bad when you get 2 thrown at you, one after another. That's 10 seconds of 15% slow. It's just no way for him to run out. He wasn't really too far out of position, but if you're alone against everyone, you are gonna die.
Yeah, just what can you do? Accept your fate. Die quicker and get to lane. And we'll have him up there with a Scarth Mage. So a lot of spam with a concussive shot and these wild axes. Kami doesn't have his stick yet, nor does Happy. We're going to need them to come out quickly on these couriers just to give themselves that bit of lane sustain.
Yeah, against the wild axes non-stop and the bolts, the concussive shot coming out. Works quite bad.
Well, they've got some trading of their own though. Shockwaves and blinding lights do get irritating in the lane. I'll take a look into some of these other spots though. In Kiritich, 5-1 so far on the Luna. Pairing up with an FNG Techies, which is not something I don't think I've regularly seen. Techies position 5 here, going to try and fight back against the Rubik. And Cloud's Batrider. And how easy of a time is this for him?
I think the lane starts out kind of easy, but Luna gets really strong around level 3 when she gets more damage. Right now, the level 1 Lunar Blessing is not very powerful, but that's why they're making a play, going aggressive. Blood Grenade. Not really hard committing to this, though.
Yeah, just a bit of poke there. Drop Kiritich low, because now second round of fighting could have just put her within kill threshold. Go for another attempt.
Some hard work by FNG, though, working those right clicks. The biggest thing when you play support techies is just non-stop auto-attacking stuff. And he's doing a good job at that. You have extra range here, so definitely try to win the trade against Rubik all the time. Giving Luna space to farm.
Yeah, the covering fire. Just lay it down. I'm trying to make sure Rubik doesn't get any pulls or anything going here. Already centered up the large camp. And keep that wave right in front of your tier 1. And of course, the final lane often gets ignored the first couple of minutes because it is just a farm trade until we get levels up on these midders. And Squadix on this Tiny against the Warwick Storm. What can we expect from this mid lane?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much like you said. It should be mostly a farm trade. Storm can run some danger of getting caught out by Tiny's tossback if he gets tossed on level 4. But so far, it's just been a last-hit battle. It's 15-for-5 versus 11-2. So a bit of an advantage for Storm, but he's losing more HP than the Tiny so far.
They're going to be spending much more on salves and stuff like that to regen up. As Kami goes up to the Lotus Pool. Shockwave's back, but losing a lot of HP to these wild axes and blood grenades. Being chucked at the Magnus, needs a tango from his Kotl to stay in the lane. Things getting a little better there for the Beastmaster.
Yeah, Beast not having too bad of a time here in this lane, but a lot of regen just being traded on the supports. All this consumables being used.
It looks like Helm the Dominator again. We saw Cloud do it, right, in game 1, and now Notice doing it here in game 3.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a Helm of the Overlord attempt, but I think this looks better though, because he's actually having a lane. If you don't get farm at all in lane, then the Helm of the Overlord is so delayed, so weak. Whereas here he's having a much better time. And look at Techies, dude. Lil is feeling the pain here with the Techies right click. He was gonna go control the bottom rune, but he took too much damage. Can't even go for it, and that means Tiny is gonna get that bottom water rune, which he otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I can't move out of this bottom lane at all. FNG. That's such a nuisance. Hitting Cloud, drops him to half health, and Kiritich. I can keep things going with the 1 charges too.
It's also the damage now, because now you have level 3 on Luna. I said that that's a strong timing, but now he gives 9 damage to the Techies on top of Techies' already amazing damage. So he's just really winning the trade hard. whereas Batrider doesn't really have much to influence the support battle, let's say, at this stage of the game. So bottom lane is going out fantastic for them. Mid lane is very even, and then top lane also pretty even. So very slight edge so far for VP in laning stage.
Yeah, and Kiritich with his build going for Treads Rush, but the boots first over the gloves and the Band of Elven Skin, so he's got that additional bit of movement speed. So try and get away from the back.
Yeah, I mean, you just respect Batrider and his Firefly. If you play in this lane, you could go for the gloves and the band first, but movement speed actually helps so much for playing this lane in a sensible way. Also helps him join faster. If Techies does harass enough to create an opening for going, then you can join and help as Luna.
Just got some punches back in there. It looks like across the map, just seeing where the creep waves are being held. VP, Radiant, oh, Squadix in the mid lane. A lot of tankiness there at the Storm with the raindrops and the stick charges is fine. Yeah, VP just holding their waves in front of their towers, making sure everyone's farming safely, and there's no real ability here for Bat to dive or Magnus to skewer people under his tier 1. Everything's very safe and sound. And Kami not having a comfortable time at all, just being spammed consistently here by VP.
Yeah, moment he shows up, takes so much harass from... And that's what you want from a Skywrath, right? Just provide all that damage in the laning stage, and that gives Beastmaster a pretty comfortable time up here on top lane so far. I mean, Magnus is a very strong hero, especially when he can clear creeps and just go jungle. But look, he just for like a split second, he takes like 500 damage from nukes. So yeah, it's hard for him to go jungle then.
It's like he just salved, he gets given tangos, he gets chakra magicked up. He can't really show his face anymore. Second point in Empower now as well. Yeah, this lane feels it's just going to be avoided. Just put Happy here.
He's going for Mask of Madness. I think he needs that Morbid Mask as soon as possible to try and mitigate all this harassment that he's taking right now.
He needs something. Maybe even a rotation from Storm when he hits 6. But we could just as easily see Squadix find a kill on Warwick in the mid lane. Especially with FNG rotating in. I'm not sure if Lil saw him coming. Lil Rubik trying to stack some camps and move towards that bottom rune spot. Storm zips in, gets the shield rune. An avalanche into a tree toss, and the turnaround on the techies now. Warwick and Lil getting on top of FNG, but a toss back and the movement from Seosh. The silence and the magic damage blowing up the Storm Spirit. They've not got enough to kill him off, so he takes the techies down. Lil and Happy. Right place, right time to help the Storm stay alive and get that kill in the end.
That was so nice for him that he actually zipped over, so he was in the zip, didn't get affected by avalanche, and could, because of that, actually get the rune. And the rune allowed him to go for that kill. Gets the double bounty rune now as well to fully regen. Trying to get a Luna kill. Could be really big.
Kiritich steps forward. Zip across. Gonna look for the Luna with a Bat Rider there, but a great blast off. FNG holds them back for a few seconds, and now with a blood grenade and a move from Tiny. Avalanche connect with a toss back. They've got the catch on Storm.
Wow, that was not what they wanted. Beautiful play by FNG. Lands the 3-man stun. They tried to get out of the AoE for it, but didn't really get far enough. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, a little bit of a snipe here by Happy Tirara, going in for the Wisdom Rune. Lil gets the other one, so they get the experience advantage here in the support versus support situation. That's gonna leave the Skywrath at barely level 3, whereas both the supports now are almost level 5 on the side of the HYDRA. It's such a big impact, dude.
Yeah, it really is. As Magnus has got to scramble for every little bit of farm he can get. Luna up at the top of the net worth, and that's where she wants to be. Sitting pretty and scaling quickly. And Tiny going for this Treads build. Does slow down the blink a little bit, but also allows him just to have staying power and a bit more ability to play aggressively around these runes as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to go for the power treads and actually have some right-click potential. And tread swapping can give you a lot of mana as well, so not too bad value.
And a quick catch on Happy there. Even Beastmaster joining in, leaves his lane, comes down as FNG does get brought down in the bottom rune spot by the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, tried to control the rune and see what's going to spawn, but of course, Tiny got the region top at least. So 1 for 1.
Sayush kind of wishing he was level 6 already. Would love to get these raw Mystic Flare plays started early. Needs a fair bit of time to get there though. Well, for now, just going to be looking to stack and control some vision around the triangle.
I almost feel like they want to leave a lane for Skywrath right now and get his level 6. I think give him mid, start moving the Tiny a bit, and actually get your gank potential up from the Skywrath here.
Well, right now, Dire Vision seems to see absolutely everything. A line of wards from top jungle down into bottom. Knows exactly where FNG and Sayo should be moving.
They're playing so heavily for stacking as well right now on the side of HYDRA. They're stacking with Caudal stacking the top jungle, Rubik stacking the Ancients, and we can see their game plan.
Oh, Warwick.
Wow. That was close.
Another bit of vision helps him out. He stuck around to get the double bounty runes and clear a stack. So a pretty hefty prize from VP to bring 4 heroes there. Not really gained too much apart from a large camp stack, which I guess is decent.
You steal stack, get some vision down in the area because you know that they want to keep playing here, they want to keep stacking. We're probably going to see Caudal attempt to deward the area as well soon to, you know, keep playing for the economy here. And they'll, again, just going every minute, stacking Ancients. And same thing on the side of VP. This is something we've seen as an evolution here in the patch, that stacking has just become so important.
Yeah, especially with this Magnus who had a torrid time in that top lane. Is more than recovered, and then he's going to accelerate so quickly with all these ancient stacks. He's going to be huge.
Yeah, he's the top farmer in the game right now, slightly ahead of the Luna. And Magnus does farm extremely fast with maxed out Empower and Mask of Madness. He should be probably top farmer for quite a while.
I should match up with these timings pretty quickly. Techie's about to hit 6 down bottom. So they've given space to FNG to farm and get experience there, while it looks like Sayo's going to try and leech from the Ancients that noticed his clearing.
He also did stack it, right? So he's getting a ton of experience just by the Ancients being killed no matter what.
Yeah.
So I guess you don't have to give your support the mid lane. You can just have them keep stacking for you. If they stack Ancients, they will recover level. And that's what we're seeing. He's almost level 6 now.
Yeah, just jumped up a level. A huge burst of experience for him. Gets the top wave for a little bit as well, so Mystic Flare is coming, as he's bodyguarded by his little kobold with the prospecting aura. A little bit of cash influx for the Sky as well, but a very steady game again. Both of these teams very content just to farm, not really poke the Angry Bear too much, get towards your key item timings. Who do you think that favors going into like 15 minutes when these lanes properly break down?
I think it's a very slow and controlled start of the game. I think it should probably favor HYDRA a little bit more. It depends on how you move and what you do, of course. But I just see this Batrider and Storm and Magnus, all of them generating so much kill threat. Whereas if you look at the side of VP, yeah, you have Beastmaster combinations, you have tiny ganks. Luna is probably mainly going to farm, though. She won't be as likely to get involved. So I just see HYDRA being a little bit more aggressive probably when the laning stage kind of breaks open more. Obviously, we're out of the laning stage. We're in the jungle stage right now, like Gareth.
Yeah,
the jungle part of the game.
Stacking stage is over. Now it's time to clear them all. It's such a fun time for players like Happy, just wandering around in the forest, an old man pottering about, gardening in his retirement. Not the new young blood like the Magnus coming and clear it all out. Harvest your crops.
I mean, this is always satisfying, running around just clearing stacks on every single camp. You go into the jungle, you just see how has my supports had time to stack everything, but that's because that's really all they're doing right now. That is the main focus. Farming efficiency is the name of this game right now, Gareth.
Yeah, sure is. I mean, Batrider, yeah, he's that close. 400 gold away from finishing Octarine course. Another 12-odd minute Octarine for him. BKB queued up next.
I think the big one is that Magnus is not too far away from Harpoon already. We are, I believe, 700 gold away right now. Looks like, from the entire Harpoon completed. And then that will be a timing where he can start going for kills as well, not just farm.
Interesting. Looks like VP still favored in the odds. We'll see if they do have this burst of aggression around this timing with the Beastmaster Helm, the Luna, with her Dragonlance and Yasha done. Still going to continue farming, but could join the fight top if need be. They are all gathered up here with 10 skeletons rallying around, giving 21 bonus damage to all the summons they've got, and a jump from Squadix with his freshly purchased Blink Dagger. Combos up with the Sky to get the pick off on Happy.
And most action we've had in a while. Garrett,
Yeah.
they go for the kill, they get it, they get the tower as well, so a little bit of an area control here for them. Honestly, it's pretty big that they managed to do this while keep farming the Luna. She didn't waste any time running over there, and they're still farming on the Tiny as well. So, a little bit of an edge for them. Bottom.
Well, they do kill off FNG. Mines blowing up in the face of Cloud, and Kiritich shows his face there. Tier 1 tower, not too safe down there, so yeah, Kiritich is going to dodge away from it, while in the mid lane, Sayer Skywrath Mage trying to fight into this Lil and Warwick
Vortex.
duo. Does still have the Vortex to drag the Tiny back, and Squad X tosses his teammate. Oh, noticed he was there, ready with a roar. He's going to throw it onto the Rubik, but yeah, with that stolen toss, it allows him to keep on playing aggressively. Was even thinking about jumping. That Beastmaster for a second time.
HYDRA with a great turn of events there, getting a lot back after a small victory top for VP. They then get picked off a little bit there. And of course, Caudle is trying to reset the mana on Storm. Not as effective as the Pugna. Pugna definitely is a superior mana giver between the two. But he doesn't have to go base.
A bit of deep vision up top to see the Batrider. Low HP, low mana. Just clearing out a camp and pushing out that top wave. But VP trying to tighten up and play with his Tiny. Again, very much a full protect one kind of strat here. Beastmaster can do the ghost pushing, send his summons out, farm some ancients. But we need this Tiny and Sky to be permanently active.
I mean, it's not even traditional like for Protect 1 because they're farming so much on Beastmaster and focusing on just getting him really big as well. So they do have a Luna that's growing, but it feels more like they all want to just farm right now, apart from this smoke rotation as well. Tiny, take his Sky. Looking for something.
Who are they going to find? There's an illusion there.
HYDRA can sense it, dude. They can sense that there's a gang. Look at them. They're all just sitting mid.
It gets pinged out now like they're just there. They're in the mid lane. They're sat at the tier 1. Magnus, see some juicy neutral creeps that he can clear out. Queues up a Manta style on Kami.
Counter smoke going in.
Squad X and FNG waiting on the high ground.
They're so close to each other.
Place some mines down. Again, this Storm Illusion just going to break vision, give them the info they need. And with that intel, Lil moves forward, but Squad X makes the choice to jump on the Rubik, the RP on the Tiny. Controls him up, roar on the bat to stop him playing forward, and Kiritich turns with the Eclipse. Manta dodges out of the Illuminate, the lasso comes, Kiritich to high ground, but Warwick, Cloud, so much damage between them. Kiritich getting turned though, with noticed here. This Kiritich Luna incredibly tanky, brings down a Storm with another mine. FNG stays alive and gets a double kill.
Wow, that was so massive that Kiritich had time to farm up his Manta before this fight because the lasso landed on an illusion, Garrett. He didn't get him. And Kiritich was just right-clicking away, and the Flame Break almost just helped him there. Or was it the Blinding Light? I don't know, there are so many things moving him. But when he got pushed to the high ground, he was happy to just stand there and keep attacking. He has the Dragonlance, had enough attack range to just stand safely and auto-attack. Great fight there for VP.
Yeah, it looked like it was starting to get a little messy with the Bat and the Magnus coming over the top and Tiny dying so early on. Yeah, like you were saying, it's this ability to keep Beastmaster and Luna farming. Not the full Protect 1, but like 3 Protect 2 has 2 cores up the top of the net worth. Beastmaster's about to crack 10k. 17 minutes in.
He has the Black Dragon as well. Fantastic creep to have. The best one for sure. And that allows him not only to farm more, but also makes him strong enough that maybe they're thinking about Roche now. They just want a massive fight. Roche is going to be top for a while here, and I think Dire they don't really play in a position that they could contest this, so it is indeed straight towards Roche. Let the Manta Styles push the lanes. HYDRA now, they're trying to get mid tower at least, get something to this.
Tiny and Sky, they're here on the Storm with a Mystic Flare, Avalanche Toss, Ancient Seal, Magic Burst, not enough.
Ooh.
They've got a bit of heals and shields there on the Storm, barely
Saved by the
scraping
Pavis.
away. Yeah. That's the thing, is a similar story in that last fight from VP, right? You've got Pavis, got Solar Crest, all these auras to dump onto the Luna, already with a level 4 Inner Beast and the Helm of the Overlord. Luna really is scaling very quickly with all these aura items.
Yeah, she could become really huge. Solar Crest would also be great for just starting to siege these tier 2 towers with her. And they can even slow siege it a bit with the dragon if they want. Top, Cloud looking for something. Not gonna find it.
Yeah, much slower game for him. No BKB, no blink yet. Octarine core was decently timed.
Both mid laners are like the poverty lane. They have no farm.
Yeah. 6.5k
like
timing.
Squadix is about to be overtaken right now by the techies. FNG is so farmed. And meanwhile, Warwick is also not really finding that much farm in this game.
Noticed. Tries to jump the Rubik. Warwick is there with the turnaround play. Roar on the Magnus to stop them in their tracks. And notice in FNG, they need backup and fast. Kami sat around half HP, going to skewer away. Now the focus onto the Rubik as a lasso catches Tiny. Spent his combo, RP fake pump, Squadix dead. Two
Eclipse fully missing.
hefty pickoffs and a third one here on the Scarlet Mage as Warwick makes the long jump in. Tries to cast whatever spells he can. The Invisible Mystic Flare was there. But 3 kills for the price of nothing for HYDRA.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. I like the patience there by Lil. He stood and waited, got an immediate steal on the Primal Roar, turned that back onto the techies. The Beastmaster's already in position. He's not going to be able to get away. They did survive on the techies and get out of that fight, but the rest of his team not so lucky there. And getting the kill on Beastmaster is absolutely huge. He was so farmed. So this gives a nice little edge back in the favor of HYDRA here.
Yeah, this was meant to be the Aegis timing for VP. Playing around this Luna, being strong, getting these kills, it delays that or expends the Aegis timer at least by a minute or so.
She was too late to the party. Like, they didn't decide to wait for her to come with the Aegis or send her first and push. They got greedy with it. They want all the farm, and because of that, they get punished. But now, they realized they could just go again. They still have Aegis. There's no reason they couldn't take a fight.
Yeah, Rora's back up, and I just love the positioning of Squadix and Sayush. Always hunting, always looking for that target in the back lines. And with the smoke breaking, they know that Cloud's nearby. A blind jump up to high ground, the BKB's out from Cloud. Squadix was holding that toss to try and extend the amount of disable they had, but this opens him up to being lassoed. Cloud gets roared, the rest of VP jump into action, killing off the bat. Well baited, drawing out that team fight as long as they could.
Cloud got greedy there. He doesn't have travels on Batfire, so he's pretty slow, and he just gets kited. His BKB duration wears off. He could easily have survived if he ran away, but thought that he could turn that fight. He didn't have any teammate nearby, though, so ends up being a bit of a feed from him.
Wisdom runes back up. Let's see who goes back to get them. Oh, Magnus. Okay, he had Manta style and like SNY and stuff queued up. Looks like BKB just going to be his option that he'll check into here.
He needs BKB. There's too much magic damage. There's a lot of things that you want to have this against. I mean, yeah, you're buying BKB into a Primal Roar, but even so, you need it. It's just too valuable to pass up here.
What's Warwick up to? Grabbing a Watcher? Kaya Sange or Witchblade just delivered. Ramping up his damage output.
He's a pretty quiet game, but he is 5-2 and 5. He's found his initiations into fights, but it feels like he's just counter-initiating mostly on the Storm. Like the last punishment on top, where VP just get out of position and then Storm is there to punish it. So it's not really him hunting for kills so much, he's just finding the opportunities.
I'm just always amazed at this techies. He gets the shards, and now he's 9k net worth. He's 1,400 out of the Tiny because of it.
Oh my.
It's incredible. Philosopher's Stone helping out too.
So he was actually just like 100 gold behind Tiny, just barely behind enough that he was even eligible for the shard. And then he's like, so long, sucker, I'm off to better places, you know, buy a new apartment, get a yacht, you know, rich techies.
Bing, bang, boom, straight to the moon. Tons of money for him. What does a Sky Shard do? It's like the bonus armor int stuff, right? That's
Yes.
kind of garbage shard, right?
It's actually quite good, but you need a lot of items first.
Like Mom
you don't
Basher?
wanna, yeah, this early it's really terrible. Yeah, you need your Mask of Madness Basher, though. That's the good stuff. Midas first, Garrett. Midas.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Gets Kiyotaka's seal of approval, I think.
The ancient seal of approval. Tier 1 tower bottom. Killed by creeps. He was sat at 10 HP. HYDRA not even bothering with a deny. And they were a few seconds ago just smoked up as 5 near their own Tormentor area, maybe expecting VP to be making some sneaky smoke moves themselves.
Yeah, they were definitely, like, they smoked up, but they didn't go for a move. They just, again, like I said, they're trying to counter-initiate, trying to punish when VP make a move instead. They almost have a greater healing Lotus on Storm, by the way. He has a great one and 2 small ones. It's really impactful if you get a greater. It's basically like having cheese, it feels like.
Yeah, on a hero like Storm is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Still very patient from HYDRA, and only a 4k lead here from VP that's really emerged in the past 4 or 5 minutes. And there's Luna outstripping everyone in farm rate. Noticed gonna get his BKB soon. Luna's already got hers, and Butterfly well on its way already. Eagle Song just purchased up.
Magnus was farming really fast, but they've gone more timid on the side of HYDRA. They're really being cautious about possible rotations of VP, but VP during that time just farming. They have Manta style for Luna, so she can keep farming lanes and farm jungle. And we see HYDRA just moving S5 a lot more, where you see right now, if you look at the position of everyone, VP are just getting out on the map everywhere, spreading their farming tendrils and getting what they can. So the advantage is growing for them.
Yeah, it's like we're talking about Tiny being underfarmed, but he's still offering that threat on the map, right? That's why HYDRA playing so tight together. This Sky Tiny combo is so fearsome. And they've got double Philosopher's Stone on the Radiant. Not sure the die have one on Rubik, but yeah, VP racking up the gold.
Wow, genius.
Tons
you
of
don't
money.
need to take fights. You just sit there and chill. Pulling ahead by a minute.
Get the fillies out. Roshan, 1 minute until fast spawn.
Yeah.
VP checking the pit anyway, just to make sure.
Right, just to make sure we know they didn't take the Roche timer.
And they're playing under Dire Vision. No, FNG has a gem. No longer any observables there. That Sentry Ward in the lane as well. This gives a bit of room though. Magnus gets down to bottom. Storm can play into mid.
Yeah, Shield Rune. Actually an underrated rune to get on Storm. You can be very aggressive when you have the Shield Rune. It gives so much survivability.
Yeah, looks like VP just playing for Roche now. Try and control the waves. Send some Mantra Illusions into mid to clear out this pretty hefty Dire creep wave coming on in.
Yeah. Magnus is getting his Satanic soon, but it's a pretty sad timing for him because when he has Satanic and he will feel strong, Butterfly is going to be complete on Curatic. So if he's fighting against Luna, that lifesteal is very unreliable into the Luna, and she'll be way higher DPS with this.
Warwick playing on that knife's edge again. He's not sure where these...
game.
Yeah, I mean, the Storm's not sure where any of these Radiant heroes are, and he's just balling into that mid-wave. Kind of spooky. It looks like the bottom ward did see Lil move down here and then dip back into the jungle. VP might be able to see him with a Hawk as it flies on over, and maybe the rest of HYDRA here.
Yeah. It's gonna scout them.
I sees...
Oh, it stops early. Gets him in.
Sees the Rubik at least. Oh yeah, Warwick very thankful he wasn't the hero to get gone on. It looks like with his other illusion, you're going to scout out Roche. Oh, Warwick, where are you sending it? Through the twin gate? Oh, hello! 3 Radiant heroes pop through the portal.
They kill it real hard, and just as Roshan spawns, Skywrath checks it. Roche is up. Butterfly Luna is coming over, and I don't know if they can make a move here. Do they have a smoke? They have a smoke on Coral. If they give this up, it feels like they're just gonna fall behind so hard.
Yeah, this is where the steamroller really kicks in. BKBs, Butterfly, Aegis Cheese, all the goodies in the world. I mean, now HYDRA smoke up. Still 4 heroes, 1 hero down, and Roshan has already fallen. Not going to get to the pit in time. They show on the wave to clear it out at least.
Yeah, no, they just have to disengage, run away, try and split the map, and not let VP get too close to buildings. Because I don't think you want to take a big fight into Aegis and Cheese on the side of HYDRA.
I'm still going to be feeling pretty good. The fact they've got this Storm Bat Rider to cut out waves, try and expand the map for themselves, so that net of VP isn't going to get too tight around them.
Yeah, what they really need is like travels next on Batrider, so he can start like making deep moves into enemy jungle and actually split push hard or TP to join the fights. Also, I think when you lose Aegis like this, it's very natural. The teams always go for the Tormentor, so you get scared. Okay, Storm.
Oh dear.
You got too close to be everyone.
Yeah. A bear comes out of hibernation.
Under attack.
Not even going for their own Tormentor now as well, and that's a bad news. If they don't take that, their 2-2 towers are gonna fall very fast to Luna, and then they could have it stolen. They're even pinging top.
Yeah, there's a creep wave up there on the tier 3. Magnus gonna have to TP back to clear it out, keep pruning these waves, but you're right, tier 2 mid already gone. Bottom, they've not got a creep wave. Dire wave was right next to that Radiant tier 2. But this is the point where, you know, patch through patch, Radiant team wants to play into Dire Ancients, now play into Tormentor, so you've got this ability to play into multiple lanes, multiple avenues of attack and defense.
Well, they want to try and defend it. It's tricky, because you see if the enemy walk around. They're gonna see it now, you see? This visual, they can tell that they're behind.
Yeah. We're getting zapped by the Tormentor and Bat Rider. Oh, dearie me! Well, he's laughing about it. Not sure if it's a laughing matter. Storm trying to go in onto Seush, but HYDRA with no bat now for a minute, losing their Tormentor, losing bottom tier 2. Is this chance now for VP to go high ground?
He didn't BKB before blinking in, so he got caught there by the stuns. Just got avalanched into Lucent Beam, and then he got BKB out, but he was already dead pretty much.
Magnus with a blink dagger. Maybe Kami can make a big play, but he's going to need some real huge 5-man RPs. There's a DD rune spawn top as well. Nobody sees it yet.
Yeah, I like the control here by VP. Back out. You got what you came for. You can go back, take your Wisdom rune, take your Tormentor, play the rest of the map, and they make sure to farm the Ancients before backing out. So they leave, you know, salted earth strategy here. There's nothing to farm. You can have this area back, but what are you gonna do with it?
Oh, I like this as well. Tiny drops his bottle next to the DD rune. So Lena shifts over. Lena?
Lena?
Yeah, Nova!
Nova definitely shifts over. You want that DD rune.
Pretty quick on her feet.
HYDRA now feeling pretty slow. They're just waiting for Aegis. You can tell. Like, they don't want to fight into the Aegis timing of Luna. So the moment Aegis runs out, they need to make a big play. They need to work their way back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got pretty good burst damage there and a lot of control through the BKB, even with Lasso and RP. It's just a matter of getting to the fights and having vision to start on the correct targets. You don't want to be jumping Luna when you don't know where the Tiny and the Skywrath or even the Techies with his Glimmer Force Solar Crest. FNG just on his own can probably save the Luna.
He has so much farm. He is a really huge Techies. And Luna, 1 minute on the Aegis timing. What does he have? Does he have Daedalus? Satanic coming out, okay. Satanic complete. Wouldn't be surprised to see him push high ground, but again, against a team with 5 different moving abilities, maybe he's scared to go high ground too early here. Get skewered back, get pulled back, and suddenly his team could be in a compromised position.
Yeah, VP wants to be the ones laying the bait, setting the trap, and then kind of counter-initiating rather than just having their Luna getting jumped on. Regen rune up top, denied. Curatex just continually denying Invis runes, regen runes. Don't let any bottle refills come into play here for the Storm.
Only DD runes are welcome.
Yeah, maybe an illusion rune. Yeah, see if he
would
spicy.
take an illusion. Yeah, he wouldn't mind that. This feels like such a farm game right now for VP after getting really nice control. I would like to see them go back and actually take this shard for themselves as well, their own Tormentor. But maybe we're going to see them make a play instead.
And just a nice visual there, seeing the comeback of the Tiny. Squad X was pretty far behind the Storm Spirit for the majority of this game, now overtaking by about 400, 500. Scythe of Ice up for the Beastmaster, so some really game-changing, fight-defining items for VP coming into their pockets.
Great tool for him to have, because if you're looking at this game, there are 3 BKBs, right, on the side of HYDRA, and nothing better than to have more chain stun and lockdown. You have the Hex, you have the Blink, you have the Primal Roar. This Beastmaster is really key, and we can already see that he's queuing up the Aeon Disc, which I think is a great choice here. All he needs to do is stay alive and cast his disables.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, even Aghanim Scepter on the Skywrath Mage now. We're going to have these multiple ancient seals and all these spells being spammed out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, you know, actually, Aghanims on Scarab Mage, you can double ulti someone if you put it in the correct position. It's very precise trick, but if someone's stunned, you can angle it. You need, like, on the very edge Mystic Flare, and the ulti's gonna hit twice.
Oh, cool. Does it also depend on, like, the size of their hero model? Is it like the Cataclysm Sunstrike kind of thing?
No, you can do it on anyone. You can do it on anyone, but it's just about how you position it, really. So it's tricky to do if they're moving around at all. They basically have to be stunned. But the damage is insane then, because already at level 2 ulti, that's a 2,400 damage nuke. Also, you need to not see another hero nearby, because the targeting is going to prioritize another hero if you hit the first one.
So let the storm zip in, get roared, and double Mystic Flared.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they've got a gem on the Batrider. They'll try and remove as much of this vision as they can from VP, who are currently smoked up as 4. FNG's techies all alone up in the top part of the map, trying to farm some neutral camps. The jump in from Squadix starts off, I don't want to say a fight, that's just the death of Lil's Rubik, but now the fight with the lasso there. Storm zips into the back looking for Sayos, but the side device and the Roar. Warwick caught up in all the disables. They get the lift on the Luna, so no Eclipse. Warwick, a bit of time here to zip away with his BKB. Can he escape? With a jump from Squadix, he'll cut the Storm to a close, and Luna charging forward, aiming for whoever's left, straggling here. Kami blinks away, and it looks like Hydra will extricate themselves from that situation.
Yeah, that was a terrible fight for them. You can see the Hex. He blinks in the Hexes again here, but his team is not really behind him. It's a Beastmaster.
Donk, donk, donk. Triple mine from Lil.
Seeing the
Creep
Hawk
wave to
away.
come in. Do the mines do more damage from Arcane Supremacy? Or oh, hang on a sec. Kami's gone in. Hexed up, tossed around. Lasso's there on the Tiny. Kami, he's dying to this Luna and her glaives, bouncing into the back lines, and Storm Spirit couldn't get a grab onto anybody. Mags is dead with no buyback.
Yeah, this is terrible for them. Now Roar coming in.
Happy's gone.
Quick kill.
And
They
the
have Hex
glaives,
available.
the glaives nearly killed Lil, just bouncing off the building. They just called GG. I think it's over. I mean, it is now.
Yep, that's it. I mean, this is where I told you that the scaling of Magnus, it's not going to work out as well against the Luna if it does go late here. I liked a lot of the tools that they had, but ultimately VP, they got so much farm in this game. They played a very controlled game, and Luna just shows her supremacy here. And to answer your question about the supremacy there for the Rubik, it doesn't actually work. The mines are not amplified by Spell Amp at all, and thus not by the Rubik Arcane Supremacy either.
It's like a different entity.
Yeah, exactly. It's a separate entity. Otherwise, Blade Mail would work on them. You could
Right.
step on mines, and that used to be the case a long time ago. You could kill techies by stepping on mines with Blade Mail.
That's one of those things that makes me sad. Like, Jug Healing Ward doesn't get affected by Holy Locket. Like, come on, please.
Yeah.
Give me the big heals.
Exactly.
Anyway, VP taking the 2-1 victory. And honestly, that's going to be one of those games where you probably feel pretty good winning it. But being on the losing side, you kind of like, nothing happened that game, and then we just lost. You know?
Kind of. But that's also about the way that they played this game. Very slow, very farm heavy, delaying a lot of the action. And it was a choice by both teams. Both teams wanted to just take it late, where I think that agreement just favors VP in this game. So I think HYDRA, they maybe didn't really play towards their strengths in the best way in the final game here. But overall, a good showing from HYDRA against VP here. And VP, they did take the win, but it looked pretty shaky.
Yeah, definitely. Still work to do for both teams, but there we go. Rounding up first series of the day. VP with the 2-1 victory. And up next, it's going to be an interesting one. Team Spirit, first series of the tour, up against one of the teams that came up from Div 2, Walikum Ni Hao. We'll see how that goes, as Team Spirit going to start making a showing, and Walikum Ni Hao, they want to try and stay in Div 1 with any victories they can possibly get. So a quick break, and we'll come back with that next series of the day.